Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we shall be looking at rejection. Rejection is the feeling of not being wanted. Rejection is the feeling of abandonment, not being accepted, a feeling of neglect. Yeah. So many of us have been rejected. Children have been rejected right from conception. There are children who were delivered and dumped in trash cans. There were children who were delivered and dumped in the mud. Yeah, children who have been put in toilets, and miraculously some of these children survive because good Samaritans came their way and helped them and nurtured them, and they grew up to be productive persons in the society. Yeah, look at when they reach adulthood, sometimes they come to learn of their story as they were abandoned, as they were picked up. So it traumatizes them even at adulthood when they hear of their past story on how they came to this life. So it is so disturbing. Rejection is something that all of us have to fight against. Rejection is something that all of us have to stand firm and say no to it. Are you one of those persons that have been rejected? Are you one of those people who have been rejected in your marriage, by your family? Are you a widow who has been rejected by your family? Are you a widow who has been called an outcast or a witch and been labeled a witch and rejected and maybe sent away? Are you one of those persons rejected at your job site? Your CV is good and they say you can't get the job because you don't want to give your body? Are you one of those people who have been rejected from or maybe aborted? You have been aborted your own children, you have rejected your own children, you were pushed to abortion maybe by friends or family. There are some persons that committed abortion not because they wanted, because we gave them pressure. We do not we told them to terminate the pregnancy. We don't want a bastard child in this house. Are you one of those children called bastard children? Yeah, you feel so humiliated, so rejected, you feel so neglected because nobody loves you. You feel you don't know your father, you don't even know your mother, and people tell you that you are an outcast, you are look at the son of nobody. You watch this video. If you are one of them, please watch this video. So many of us have suffered rejection. You watch this video, you learn from it, you share it so as to save more lives. Many women from conception had a lot of pain and of rejection. They felt so demoralized because the men that got them pregnant denied the pregnancy, denied knowing anything, and some of these women get into self-harm and kill themselves. Some supported the issue, brought up these children in pain, and it also disturbed the developmental stages of the children they were carrying in their womb. So when they deliver the child, they feel so lonely because the father is not there to support, no support from the family. Family persons start abusing or insulting you as you are stupid and you are careless, you got pregnant for nobody, those type of things. It's a lot of rejection and a lot of pains. Let us stop traumatizing our own children, our own families, our own relatives. There are women who were rejected, forced into marriage, and when they went into the marriage, their presence doesn't make any sense. Nobody cares about them. They have nothing to eat. They get pregnant, neglected with the pregnancy, and when they deliver their children, they are always in misery. They are always in pain. They don't have a job. Maybe sometimes you are even denied not to even get a job. That is, you don't have the right to have a job. You don't have a right to go to the market. You don't have the right to go to church. You don't have the right. That's a lot of rejection. You feel so humiliated, and some of these women now start getting into substance abuse. Some of them start getting into substances like alcohol, drugs. They want something that will make them strong, or they get into bad friends. They start forming their gangs and planning a revenge. Some of them run away, and they run away and go and die. We never ever know where they are. You only hear somebody was missing. It's because of rejection in the family, because that person was not accepted in the family, that person was not loved. Rejection is the absence of love. Rejection is the feeling of abandonment. Some of us children, we have labeled our mothers witches because it was said that they killed their husbands. Are you God? Were you there? Did you see when she killed her husband? How do you know if she is a witch? Judgment belongs to God. Let us not be too fast to judge people. Maybe we are the ones who are witches, but we are fast to call other people witches. Even children abandon their own biological mothers who were sent away as outcasts. Yeah, we are driven away. They migrated to unknown lands, migrated to strange places, and suffer a lot of depression, suffer a lot of pain. There are some people who are even on the streets. They have been labeled mad. In other countries, you don't see people on the street moving naked or eating from trash cans. But in our own context, you see people moving and eating from trash cans. There are institutions that are supposed to confine these persons to give them support, give them psychological support, moral support, give them the treatment and even the feeding. Why do, and families, we allow our own parents, our own family members to be moving on the streets. We do not even show consent to them. We pass without greeting them. We neglect them because we don't want to associate with the mad people. We don't want to associate with the lonely. We call them lunatics. We have people in our families that we just label them vegetables. We do not want to listen to them, to hear what they are suffering from and see how we can help them to move on. Rejection is a very painful thing. There are people who have been rejected at their job site because of conspiracy. Rejected, maybe even in the church there is rejection. You see some people have been given the back bench to sit because of one crime or another. Meanwhile, us that we are feeling that we are righteous in the church, that we are rejecting them and say that they will not sing in the church, you will sit behind. We too have our own faults. Just because nobody knows our own evil that we did, nobody knows what our own crimes that we committed, we tend to label crimes on some people in the church and telling them that no, you are not good to be in this family, you are not good to be in the family meeting, or in the family meeting you don't have to talk, you are a nobody. A lot of rejection, a lot of pain. There are some people that at their job site, whatever they do is wrong. It is not it's not recommended, it's not accepted. There are people with good CVs, they get to an interview and they are rejected. They are not taken only because they did not comply with the demands. Maybe there were demands that were above them, they could not comply, and so they are rejected. They can't get the job. You are rejected in your family because you are poor. You are rejected because you are this. They feel that you have an illness. Maybe you are HIV positive. People start rejecting you in the family. For what reason? There are people living with illnesses that are more than HIV. What people are dying of now is not HIV. It's depression, is trauma, anxiety. People are dying of mental health issues. Mental health issues. We have to prevent this. We have to prevent rejection. We have to prevent abandonment. We have to prevent sexual harassment, prevent violence, prevent conflicts. We have to prevent this feeling of not being loved. We have to prevent it by loving ourselves first. The first person to love is yourself. If you love yourself first, you will be able to run away from addiction, run away from bad groups. Develop some love for yourself. God created us in his image and likeness. If people cannot love you, if they cannot accept you, if they have rejected you, please develop some love for yourself. Nourish yourself well, eat well, dress well, look good, put a smile on your face, and run away from self-harm. People who have suffered from rejection are into self-harm. Many of them, they go into silent places. They don't associate. They don't go to family meetings. They don't even go to church. They don't want to belong. So many of them, when they stay in silence, and we family, we do not check on them, what they do next is they take drugs, they take substances, they take poisonous substances, and before we know it, they are dead. So many people have died. People get into suicide, people get into self-harm, people get into conflicts, perpetrators of violence, because they were neglected. They try, nobody listened to their case, so they become so violent, they become so angry, they become so irritative, you cannot discuss with them. They are they develop an attitude that you cannot cope with them. So they become perpetrators of sexual harassment in the quarter and so on, because of the pain of rejection. Rejection can push someone to get to terrible limits, to get to terrible ends. Rejection can push somebody to get into to a lot. Some of them are with arms because of rejection. They feel rejected, so they get dangerous weapons and they harm anybody on their way. Let's try to accept our families, our loved ones. Let's try to stop this rejection. Let us try to stop it in our families first, in our churches, in our meetings, in our tribal meetings, in the schools, everywhere, in our job sites. Let's stop rejection. Let's put an end to it. Rejecting anyone, you are rejecting yourself. There is karma waiting for everybody. Let us learn to forgive ourselves for the evil we have done. Let's learn to forgive ourselves and try to love ourselves and see how we can move on. We all have faults. We should not go judging people, because we also have our own faults. We also have our own things we have done that are not pleasing to others. Thanks for watching.